Hey, how you doing today? We're going to talk about understanding your uninsured motorist vehicle insurance claim. I'm Chris Denman, partner and attorney at Denman Perlman. And let's, if we're chatting about this, you've been in an auto wreck, okay? And it wasn't your fault that you got into the auto wreck. Somebody else violated a rule of the road and drove bad and caused the wreck. And what if you're injured, right? So now you come to us because you've been injured because of the auto wreck and you have a claim. But what if the bad driver doesn't have any insurance? Or what if the bad driver has too little insurance? You've really been hurt and you have a lot of medical bills now and you're going to have future medical bills, but the bad driver has very little insurance. Well, that's where we're going to look for uninsured motorist coverage. Now, unlike the other driver's insurance, where it is, he's the bad driver and he's the one that has insurance, uninsured motorist coverage is what we call first party insurance. It's something that usually you've purchased. It's something that maybe if you haven't purchased it, maybe you live with somebody who has this insurance. Or if that's not the scenario, but you're riding shotgun with somebody when the accident happened and they're not at fault, someone else still caused the accident, or you're borrowing somebody's vehicle, maybe they have the uninsured motorist coverage. But it's this first party insurance coverage. And what it does is it pretends to be the bad driver's bodily injury coverage. So in other words, it's insurance coverage that's been purchased to protect somebody who's been injured by the fault of a bad driver. So how do you know if we have uninsured motorist coverage that's going to apply in your case? Well, the first place that you can look, but sometimes you can see, is on your proof of insurance, your insurance card. And if you look at it, by the way, if you're watching this video, you've already retained us. We already have a copy of your insurance card. We probably have already talked about this potential by looking at it. And so sometimes on the insurance card, it'll be stamped on there. It will say the letters UM, standing for uninsured motorist, and it will have some numbers next to it. But most of the time, it's not on these insurance cards. So then we're going to turn to your deck page, your declaration page. That is your official insurance documents that you got when you purchased your insurance. If we're looking under your uninsured motorist coverage, or if we're looking at a resident relative, or we're looking at the person who is driving the vehicle that you borrowed, or if we're looking at the person who is driving the vehicle while you were a passenger, we have to go directly to their insurance company to get their declaration page. And this is a copy of a declaration page, of a sample one. This is a progressive deck page. And for this particular person, you see that they have liability coverage, they have personal injury protection, but this particular person also has uninsured motorist non-stacked coverage in the amount of $10,000 per person, or $20,000 per accident. And what that means is, in this particular case, assuming this uninsured motorist coverage applies to our client, then there's going to be $10,000 worth of coverage for her to cover her bodily injury, pain and suffering, and that sort of loss. You can also check your UM selection or rejection page. And we do this, by the way, we're doing this in every case. This is nothing that you actually have to do if you're a client. I mean, this is the stuff that we're doing right out, within 24 hours of you retaining us. We're going to the actual insurance companies themselves and getting this information for every possible claim. But want you to be informed so you know what we're doing. So if we see that a declaration page doesn't have any UM listed on it, we're still checking the UM selection or rejection page. And that's what this is right here. Every time you choose to, let's say that you're the person purchasing this insurance, let's say that we're looking at your uninsured motorist coverage. Every time that you buy any insurance, Florida law says that you have to fill out this form, and the insurance company has to make sure you fill out this form. And it's a form where you're going to choose the uninsured motorist coverage that you have, or you're going to choose to reject the uninsured motorist coverage. So the reason this is required by law is because uninsured motorist coverage, it's a great thing. It's really important, and it can really protect you and really protect somebody who's injured because of somebody else's mistake. And it's not that expensive because, Florida law makes sure that the insurance companies don't make it too expensive. But insurance companies don't make a lot of money off this coverage, so they really want you to waive it. And so because they really want you to waive it, if the insurance companies had their own way, you wouldn't sign anything. They'd just sweet talk you over the phone and you would end up waiving it, and they'd sell you crap insurance that wouldn't really help you. So Florida law makes sure that if you're going to waive your uninsured motorist, that you sign this document. And even if you don't have uninsured motorist coverage, if the insurance company can't produce this document for us, then we get to say that you do have uninsured motorist coverage, that you have uninsured motorist coverage in the amount of whatever bodily injury coverage you may have purchased. And if you've seen our video on bodily injury coverage, that's the coverage that you get to protect you from in case you accidentally hurt somebody else and they make a claim against you. That's bodily injury coverage. So this document's really important. We're going to request it in every single case. Again, you don't have to do that. That's just something that we do automatically, that gets done, that we do within 24 hours of, you come into our firm, and we end up getting this document within 30 days because that's what's required by the law. And we also request this document from anyone else who might have this uninsured motorist coverage that might protect you. So in recap, it's important that you help us check all insurances in your house. So like I said, resident relative, sometimes what that means is somebody that's living, if you live in the house with somebody else who has uninsured motorist coverage, it might apply. We've had cases before with a granddaughter. One in particular jumps out, where I had a granddaughter who was staying half the time with grandma, and she was sleeping on the couch, but she was getting her mail there. And the long and short of it was, granddaughter ended up being covered under grandma's uninsured motorist coverage. So you don't have to do any of this. Again, we do it all for you. Just make sure you give us the information. Make sure we're chatting so that we know who these potential people might be that might have insurance that might apply to you, so we can check for you. Any questions, let me know. It's been a pleasure. Take care.